Welcome into another episode of The Sit Down. We're here with Coach Stinespring. If you've been a college football fan of any Virginia, football program in recent memory, then you probably know who he is. Coach, welcome into the show. How was your summer?
Summer was fast. I appreciate you allowing me on this show, but it was fast. They're getting quicker. The more years I coach, the quicker these summers come and go. So I'm not sure what happened to June, but August got here in a hurry.
That's how I felt. I feel like every summer that comes by, it's just like a blink of an eye, and then it's done. You've coached at a lot of really, big schools, including Virginia Tech. Now that you're back in Salem and leading a program, what does it mean to you to run a program like Roanoke College?
Well, it means a great deal. I get a chance to I'm still wearing maroon. So that's a good deal. I have plenty of maroon in my closet. I really feel like my ties to this state has enabled me to pursue this job with a passion. This area has been born and raised 45 minutes from Salem. Spent most of my time, 25 years in Blacksburg, recruited the area, grew up going to Roanoke and Salem as a youth. And so it's always kind of been in my backyard, and the opportunity to start a program from the ground up and kind of make it your own and do it in a place like Salem and Roanoke, Virginia, and in this area has meant the world to me. I've embraced this opportunity. I look forward to this season as I do every year. Even though the summers fly by, there's always August and there's always September, and it drives me to this day. I am more excited about this season than any other season I've been in.
Now, you said that you grew up 45 minutes away. That's you grew up in Clifton Forge, Virginia. Tell me what that was like growing up in an area like that.
I feel very blessed to grow up in the area that I did. It's always been my home. The habits that I picked up as a youth growing up in a town like Clifton Forge, the people that valued hard work. You go to work every day, whether you're on a railroad or whether you're with West Vaco, which is now West Rock, or whatever. You just you went to work and you packed your lunch and you got things done. There's a strong sense of community and support. Many of my biggest supporters to this day is still ties back to my hometown. My family's there. So it means a lot. And it meant a lot to grow up in a town. I like the water. There's plenty of lakes. There's plenty of rivers around here. Even though it's a small town, as a youth, I never really felt like I was in a small town.
Yeah, absolutely. And tell me about how you kind of got into football and into coaching.
Well, it's a great story, really. I graduated from James Madison University, and I had all these plans. Most of it really involved around some type of law enforcement, actually, whether it was going to go to law school. I was prepared to go to the State Police Academy. There was a goal that I would do a couple years and then move into the FBI or the CIA. These are things that I was a political science major, criminal justice, and history minor. And those things really appealed to me. And out of the blue, my former high school football coach, who was a principal at then Lexington High School, called and said, "Hey, we got a job. You want to coach some football, coach some wrestling, teach? I got a spot." I drove 30 minutes and signed the contract in 32 minutes. And from the time, it's really amazing. I guess when I was growing up, the people that I looked towards and up to were my coaches. My high school football coach, the one that gave me the job in Lexington, we make sure, me and a couple of my friends, that we get together with him, just us, and spend a long weekend together. And I valued those coaches. I still do. And when I put the whistle around my neck and a hat on and got on the football field, I never looked back. That's what I was going to do. And that's sort of how I got into it. It was kind of just a phone call, uh, responded to it, put the whistle on, and never looked back.
It's funny how sometimes those things just kind of happen,
And no
and then
question.
you just kind of find yourself in situations like that. So going through your football career, you end up, all sorts of different stops. You end up at Virginia Tech. Tell me kind of what it was like. I know we talked about it a little bit last year, but if you could just dive in a little bit deeper into, what Coach Beamer and what he meant to you and the kind of the lessons that you learned at Virginia Tech.
Well, I'm not sure how long you got me on this show, but if you start wanting me to talk about what Coach Beamer's meant to me, then we don't have enough time. Um, and I mean that. And I think any other coach that's had the opportunity and the good fortune to be a part of his staffs or as players, um, everything that I've tried to do from our time at Virginia Tech, I've tried to emulate it. When I left Virginia Tech when Coach Beamer retired, and I left and went to James Madison, a reporter came up and said, "What's it like being on the field without Coach Beamer?" And I looked at him and said, "I have no idea what you're talking about. He's on the field with me every day in some fashion or another. The lessons that he taught us as coaches are just people and the things that you need to value. What's the win principle? WIN. What's important now? Um, I take with me every day. There's a big part of what we did at Virginia Tech. We had to build a program there to a degree, and where it started and where it ended up when we left is actually remarkable. And there was a lot that went into that, and the lessons that I learned during that growth for us is very similar to what we're doing at Roanoke College. So the biggest lessons I probably learned from Coach Beamer was it's when you're dealing with your players. The number one lesson he taught me, two lessons he taught me is that we have jobs because of them, and that's where our priorities should be. And they'll never care how much you know till they know how much you care. And I bought into that. I think once your players know how important they are, their well-being, not just as a football player, but in general, that you have a strong sense of allowing them, guiding them to be the best version of themselves. Then I think you have the ability to grow and develop, and they trust you, and there's that mutual trust and accountability to one another. And I learned that really uh, from Coach about how important that is, how you establish that relationship, how you create the team from your relationships, uh, and then just as importantly, I would say is, you surround yourself with good people. We're in a people business. In this day and age, we talk business first. This is a business now. We're in a business. Well, we are. I get it, but it's still people, and it took me and I followed suit with that. I didn't. The thing that took me the longest to do was to complete the staff, and who's going to be the support people, who are going to be the full-time coaches, where was the support people coming from, and who were they? And that took a while because I knew if we didn't have that component right, no matter what we did after that, it was going to be an uphill battle.
All right. So yeah, coach, just kind of walk me through what it was like building a program from
Well,
nothing.
well, Joey, like I told you before, in some part of our life, I gained a lot of weight trying to get this thing going. There's a picture taken of me, and it wasn't very flattering. I told them the next time they take a picture, make sure they use every filter that they know and crop this thing a little better. But I wish we were doing this in my office. I really do, because I'd flip it around because at my desk, I stare at every day this beautiful graphic of our stadium from this past year. back in almost a year from now, September last year. And it's over 9,000 people in that stadium for a JV game on a Sunday. And I look at that, and I know that 9 months prior to that, there was me, two other coaches, and four players sitting around one table in one office. And there was no football. You said uniforms. There were no uniforms. There wasn't a football. And so we really had to progress. When I first got there and there wasn't anybody on the staff, I said, okay, what can I do now? And so the year before had worked at Consolidate the Schools in my hometown, and I did all the uniforms. So I said, I can do the uniforms. I know what I want. I know what I think is going to look well. So before anybody got there, I got something off my plate. And so when the staff got there, we talked strictly culture for about a week. What are we trying to develop here? What are we trying to do? And then the biggest part after that, we had to turn our attention to continuing to bring in people to our staff. But more importantly, we were playing in 9 months, and we had 4 players. So we had to get going. And then along the way, it was developing a close-knit relationship within our own college, but within our community that I value a great deal. A big part of me taking the job is I know Roanoke, and specifically I know Salem's support for all things Salem, and their love for athletics in general. And so I counted on that, and it responded. But it was a long process. I'm telling you, on the first game, I never had a phone on me ever in my career. But I had my phone in my pocket. I was waiting for something, and it never happened. We planned it out well. I think we all got it. We communicated. We formed a football committee that had a marketing team, a game day team, our administration, our athletic director, our SID, our IT people, our advancement teams, and we met every Wednesday. And we got a lot of things done. We got on the same page quickly. And so it was a big group effort, but there were times that I got nervous. I said, okay, how's this thing? We were in a grind, and then we were trying to get a schedule for the fall. What's it going to look like? We have 61 players. How's this thing going to evolve itself? So, but what we did is we made it our own. And we took what I thought the strength of what Virginia Tech was all about, things that I learned in other places that I've been to, and we kind of brought it together. And but I stare at that picture every day, and recognize what took place and how it took place, and then it helps me in those moments when you're still in a struggle. We're still in year one. Nobody says you're in year two. No, we're not. We're still in year one. 50% of our team took their first college exams back in May. The other 50% was going to their high school prom. So we still have to blend a team together, and we got to do it in short order. And then we get ready to face a full schedule, and in a very difficult conference with some really difficult out of conference opponents. So the challenges are different per se, but they're equal challenges for us still. And as I told you in the leadoff, I could not be more excited about this season, but there's some unknowing. We're freshmen and sophomores. We did get some transfers to come in, but 90% of our team's going to be in the freshman sophomore category. So, making sure they know where the locker room, half the team knows where the locker room is and how to get to the stadium. That's still a valuable concern.
Yeah. Last year you guys managed to win every single game that you played. How special was that group, even though it was a JV roster, even though it's, maybe year 0.5, however you want to word that. How special was it to be able to not only just put it on the field, but put it on the field and have success like immediately?
Well, it meant a lot because, again, the first game I had no idea what was getting ready to take place, and I didn't know how many people were going to be at the game. And when our buses pulled in, our football players, I watched them on the bus. They saw a parking lot full 2 hours before the game. And I saw their eyes. They got big. And I heard them like, oh, we're not in high school anymore. Boys, I just saw them. And I saw them. I said, well, they're excited. But then as I was walking, we did our little walk into the stadium, and I could hear them chattering. I said, this could go a lot of directions. I mean, our first series now, it looked like we never practiced a minute. I mean, I think I willed it into it because I said, we can't go out there. We can't snap it over the quarterback's head. We can't snap it over the punter's head. We can't let people get behind us and chase the quarterback. And all those three things happened in the first two series. So, but I want to say this. When young men came to our campus on unofficial visits or official visits, and they're trying to find out whether they want to come to Roanoke College or not, and there's nothing that they can see in this world. If you're not on a podcast, if you're not on TikTok, if you're not on Instagram, you're not real. And we weren't. When they came on visits, when they go on visits to other schools, and whether it's in Virginia Tech, James Madison, it's all the same. They want to put the uniform on. They want to grab a football. They want to take their pictures, put the helmet, get the smoke behind them, and then they want to tweet it out. We ran down to Dick's Sporting Goods and we got a football. We went to our bookstore. We got a one-size-fits-all sweatshirt and T-shirt and a Roanoke College flag. That's what we had when they came. So when they came on the visit, that's what we had. There wasn't a locker room. There were pictures of a locker room. There wasn't a practice field. There was a picture of what the practice field's going to look like. You with me?
Right.
And so we had to sell the vision, and they had to buy into it when these young men came without being able to put their hands on something. So I'm indebted to each and every one of them, whether they played a lot or played a little, because every single one of them felt like that we were getting ready to do something, to be a part of a legacy, to create something from really the absolute nothing to let's see where we can take it. And they did it without the bells and whistles that they could readily touch, see, wear. That's amazing to me that we had a group that did that, and many of them had really good other opportunities. And so I just think it says a lot about them, and I think it says a lot about them, and I think it says why we were able to. We went into the last couple minutes of just all four games that you alluded to, and we were either behind or if we were winning, we were by one.
Yeah, so a lot of those games were tight. Yeah.
So it said a lot about those players that that probably because of who they are is why they kind of they continue to battle. We were able to win every game. I mean, there was no taking knees at the end of the game. It was a scramble, and I couldn't have been more proud of a team, the way they just constantly battled and kept playing and grew as a team. Watching them mold into it, they joined as a team in August the 15th. We played September 5th. I mean, in less than 4 weeks, to watch them matriculate into a team was as rewarding experience as I've ever been around. And I've been blessed. I've been around a lot of rewarding experiences.
Yeah. So this will be my last question before we head into the lightning round and finish things up. Without giving away any game plans, because obviously we don't want to do that, what can fans expect from Maroons football going into your first full season?
Well, I think what you're going to see from the Maroon football team is a physical football team, and obviously we still need another year in the weight room to match that part of it. But I think we'll be a tough-minded group. I think we'll be a disciplined group. I think we'll be fun to watch. I think there'll be great competitors out there, and I think you're going to see a group of young men that just enjoy playing the game of football for a school that they love. And boy, what a great revelation that is, especially in these days. But I think you'll see a group is passionate about what they do, and that there's an element of importance to what they do, and they have a why and a purpose. And I think you'll see that out of them. No, I know you will.
Well, we're looking forward to it. We do plan on being there to at least to every home game, for sure. So now we're gonna head to the lightning round. I'm gonna throw a bunch of questions at you. Just give me your first instinct.
No,
All right. What is your go-to meal? Like, what is your favorite thing to eat?
steak.
Steak. I respect that. Same here, honestly. Favorite music artist?
Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen.
Most memorable sporting event you've ever been to?
1999 National Championship game. Also, the 2016 National Championship game at James Madison.
I had a feeling that those were going to be your answers. If you could have dinner with any historical figure, sports or otherwise, who would it be?
John F. Kennedy.
Nice. All right, Coach, that's all that I have for you. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. We'll have to get you back on, but we're definitely looking forward to seeing some good Maroon football this year.
Look forward to it. Can't wait to see you there, and go Maroons.